Hey, yo, it's Dominic D'Angelo. I'm of ad-free show. No, I'm not. I'm of StudioOneSports.com and I'm of Podcast Heat Wrestling, plus other outlets as well. But StudioOneSports.com is where you should be tuning into. That's where you get the clips. I posted a clip of me and Robert discussing LA Knight. Got a little bit of cool kind of buzz going on, just a little bit. Nothing too crazy, to be honest. But yes, but happy to be here with all of you today. I'm flying solo. Robert is out. Congrats to his daughter, who is going to have her bat mitzvah. So exciting times, stressful times for Robert, but I'm sure he'll have a great time, especially seeing how happy his daughter will be during that time. He's really going all out for that. Pun not intended. All right, let's say hi to everybody in the chat here. We got some good folks here. We got Cammy Star after morning with Robert gone today. That gives us the opportunity to be naughty chat. That's true. And I give you a platform to do such if you want to as well. Triple E says, what's up? I highly recommend Chathapacha, The Ring of Rowdies, Indian action comedy film about three friends in Fort Kochi starting a wrestling promotion, facing local rowdies and internal conflicts. I saw somebody posted a poll about what's the best wrestling movie. Top Rope Nation actually did it. Shout out to Ryan Drost, who used to be on this channel actually not long ago. StudioOneSports.com, that is. StudioOneSports.com. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to promote StudioOneSports.com while I talk about this. So, but he made a poll about what's the best wrestling movie. So I can't remember all that was listed on there, but the rest are obviously with Mickey Rourke was on there. Maybe Ready to Rumble. I like Ready to Rumble, actually. Ready to Rumble is actually a fun wrestling movie, especially if you go back and watch it. It's good stuff. But I will say my favorite pro wrestling movie is Slapshot. Okay, if you're familiar with Slapshot, it's actually hockey. But if you watch it, you will see so many parallels to pro wrestling and what they're doing on that. So my favorite pro wrestling movie is actually Slapshot with Paul Newman. Boom. StudioOneSports.com. Check it out. Go there, hit like, hit subscribe, share it out, get the word out. I'm feeling super duper motivated and amped up because there's a lot of cool things on the forefront with Studio One Sports. And I got to get this all things lined up and together and get myself on the right track to getting that content out and churning for everybody. So hit it on up. If you're tuning in via YouTube, go to StudioOneSports.com. That will be the best outlet to choose from and enjoy the show. So let's cover some more shout outs here in the chat. Boy, we got a good crew going on here. We got Jeff Ettinger. Hello, RNI. It's time for some Dom in the chat to go off the rails. 100% already is. Willie Thornbrew chimes in. Just want to say good afternoon, gentlemen. Thank you for the show. I really appreciate it. No Robert today. That's correct. No Robert indeed. Wrestling Old Head chiming in. Happy Friday, everyone. Good to see you. Devin Dallin. Boom, in the house. Ayo, Chico. Boss Brat 3429 says Swerve to cost Hangman at Revolution. Ooh, you know what? That would be, revisiting that feud this quickly. Is that the right thing to do? I don't know. I think Swerve would totally thrive in the heelish role of that. But my concern is what we're getting from Hangman. Robert and I talked about it yesterday. Hangman, he's got the great look. I loved him starting off early. He was my guy in AEW starting off early on. I just liked what they were doing. He was so conflicted, but drinking and kind of like the anti-hero of the elite, basically. Hey, how are you going to control Hangman? And what a great kind of spot to put him in. But now he's just, your what is it? Paint by numbers babyface. And, I think there's more to him than that. Obviously, there's more to him than that. And they just haven't, he hasn't tapped into it appropriately. So while I think Swerve Hangman feud with Swerve being the definite heel and Hangman being the babyface could be engaging, I want to see a new version of Hangman in that role. if that makes sense. Have him. I'm all for like revisiting that feud because those guys are good together. Listen, they don't got to do all the crazy needle in the mouth, um, burn your house down kind of tactics and all that kind of stuff. But I do think there's nothing wrong with that. It's like going back to Sammy and Kevin Owens. People kind of like, oh man, are we getting that again? Like sometimes people are like that, but there's certainly some value in that. So not necessarily against that for sure. But good input there, Boss Brett. I like it. Devin says The Wrestler is the best movie in their opinion. Dre Owens agrees. Wrestler hands down. Look, The Wrestler is really, really good. Like, really gives you that sobering experience of like what that career, especially during those times, where Randy the Ram Robinson was flourishing, and then how he kind of had to survive on the indie scene and make do, like working at a grocery store. It's very telling of freelance too in that way, and trying to make your hustle as a creative type in the world. So yeah, The Wrestler, if you were to say like, Dom, you can't include Slapshot because Slapshot is about hockey and not wrestling, the Wrestler, it might be mine as well, I would say, just because of it's kind of like a haunting story, a cautionary tale. The Iron Claw in second. I like the Iron Claw. Saw that in theaters, which was neat to see in theaters. If you go back, I think it's on SE Scoops' YouTube channel, actually. Marcus, my brother and Marcus actually break that down after we saw the movie. We talk about it and discuss it and break it down. Check it out. Maybe I'll try to provide a link to that or something. But that's on SE Scoops' YouTube. Maybe go to YouTube and type in, let me see if I can find it. Tune into this after the show, not during the show, please. Help us out here. Let's see if I can find it, though. Shout out to SE Scoops. Always does great work. That's actually where I got one of the topics today. It was from SEScoops.com. Here, let's see. I'm going to pop Iron Claw. If you like me and my degenerate brother Marcus, you can check this out here. Not a whole lot of views, but this was 2 years ago happened. So here is the link for people to check out if they would like to check out this after the show. Iron Claw review. Hold on. Iron Claw review. All right. Boom. There you go. All right. Check that out if you want to after the show. Fun discussion. It's on Netflix. Oh, Iron Claw made Devin Dowling cry. That's the crazy thing about that movie is that's not all the real Von Erich story is even more tragic than that. It's crazy. I mean, I guess this is not really spoiler. So if you do not want to hear spoiler, they didn't address in the movie that they had, I don't believe they addressed Fritz's Von Erich's young, I believe it was a 6 or a toddler son drowned in a puddle, like literally drowned in a puddle. And that was the first tragedy. And then on top of it, they had a fourth brother that passed away that they didn't put in there. It's just crazy. So what you see is very, very sad in the movie. They did try to add some like cool moments, and like I tell you what, I marked out big time when they introduced Kerry Von Erich and Stranglehold was playing. I was like, damn, what a cool way to introduce like one of your top, an all-time wrestler in Kerry Von Erich. And like, man, I love Kerry Von Erich too. I do, like, even back when I was a kid, I remember seeing the Texas Tornado and I was like, who's that guy? And that was before I liked Razor Ramon. I was trying to find maybe somebody different than Hulk Hogan in a certain way, but Texas Tornado was awesome to me. And he didn't have a whole foot at that point in time. So, let's see. What does Full Juggalo album? Yeah. Check out Big Money Hustlers movie Insane Clown Posse. Mick Foley is in movie classic, and Big Money Rustlers Scott Hall is featured. How about that? Is that more of a documentary? I would assume that's a documentary, right? But Boy, everybody's saying it's going to be the wrestlers there. Oh man, I would love a movie on Bret Hart. Look, as tragic as a good deal of the Hart family story is, I tell you what, you read. Why can't I think of? Oh, I'm talking away from the mic. Hold on a second. Shoot. Hold on. Bear with me. We're off the rails, everybody. Here we go. Okay, not only do you read Bret Hart's biography, Hitman, all-time wrestling book. Probably my favorite wrestling book is Bret Hart's autobiography. But you combine that. Hold on, let me put this all back. You combine that with this book I'm about to show you here. Boom, I got to give this a huge Pain and Passion, Stampede Wrestling. This is by Heath McCoy, who's a Canadian, grew up watching the Hart family. Goes all the way back to Stu's early days and him starting Stampede Wrestling. But it gives you a more all-around kind of coverage of Stampede Wrestling and what it was about. So you get coverage on the Dynamite Kid, the Mongolian Stomper. It's been a few years since I've read this, but it's an all-time wrestling book. I recommend going out, checking this book out. This is amazing, an amazing book. Shout out to Heath McCoy because amazing work here. And so this, along with Bret Hart, is going to give you a full-fledged kind of story about the Hart family. Check it out. I highly recommend it. And then now with Natty's book out, I have not got to check out Natty's book at all, but I'm sure with Natty's book too, that is a good sequel to maybe this all as well. So enjoy it. Pain and Passion, it's called. Stampede Wrestling, The History of Stampede Wrestling by Heath McCoy. Shout out to Heath McCoy. I might clip this up and tag him in it. Because he's on X. Okay. Let's see. We're really off the rails right now, huh? Let's see what else is going to be said here. Paul Walter Hauser going to be Mick Foley soon. Is that like confirmed? Did they greenlight that movie? And I know even movies nowadays not necessarily doesn't mean if you're greenlight, but you're a part of it. You know, it's still actually going to happen. That's the one concern for all of that. Cammy Star says half the Bret Hart movie would be F. Goldberg. I don't think they would cover too much of that. Maybe just the ending of it all. The tough thing about wrestling movies, we saw a little bit of this, I think, maybe in the Iron Claw movie, but like it's hard to make actors look like wrestlers. You know what I mean? Zac Efron was great. He was more jacked than Kevin Von Erich, I think, in that. You know, like bulkier. But Jeremy Allen White looks good as Kerry Von Erich. So I guess you can do it. You can do it. It just takes a little bit of work. I think with such notable faces as Goldberg and stuff like that, who are you going to have play somebody like a Goldberg? Or who are you going to, like, if you do a Bret Hart movie? And like all of these familiar, like iconic kind of characters in pro wrestling, a Stone Cold Steve Austin and stuff like that. I will say the guy that played Harley Race in Iron Claw, bam, amazing. Really good stuff. Boy, Razor, my cat is loving life right now. If you could see him, he's enjoying basking in the sun. It is adorable. I'm going to take a picture as I do this because it's off the rails. But we will. Let's talk a little wrestling here. I will preview SmackDown. I will preview SmackDown, but I did want to talk about this, which I thought was really interesting. Actually, before we do that, I know I'm nuts. Before we do that, I want to take a couple of these talking points before we pivot. Derek Mitchell, 72. I guess I'm going to nitpick, but none of the actors look like the Von Erichs, except the actor who played Fritz Von Erich, which threw me off because I'm old enough to have lived through the World Class Championship Wrestling years. Well, you know, I think that's yes. I agree with you that like ultimately like the wrestlers did not look like maybe what they were portraying in certain ways. And I know I'm kind of going against what I said just right now, but I'm okay with them not necessarily completely looking like them, because if you're a wrestling fan, you're already associated with them. So like Jeremy Allen White, famous actor, playing Kerry Von Erich, doesn't necessarily look like Kerry Von Erich to a T at all, but like I think enough that it's there. Zac Efron is his own. I mean, if you like, I guess you could kind of argue a household name to certain people in the television and film world, considering High School Musical and whatever else he's been in. But like, so he's his own person. So him playing Kevin, I'm okay with him not necessarily like really looking the part. I know that's kind of a weird statement after I just said what I said about like wrestler. It's hard to play wrestlers, but like, I do think that they did a actually pretty good job overall. But I understand your point too, Derek. Man, I love World Class though. Like I got hooked on World Class once WWE Network debuted over in 2014. They had a series of those episodes off there with the Freebirds and Von Erich feud, and man, I ate all that up. I fell in love with World Class for that. Mm. Oh, see, I like Dre Owens' pitch for the Bret Hart movie. It would end at the Montreal screw job. I think that would be the right way to do it, right? You know, and then you could kind of have a epilogue or whatever after the fact. You know, Willie Thornbrew says Natalia's book was great. Willie Thornbrew says I just listened to Brett read his book on Audible. Oh, that'd be good. That'd be good. Derek also adds Jeremy Allen White looked nothing like Kerry Von Erich, just like he looks nothing like Bruce Springsteen in the Springsteen biopic. Okay, so before we go to wrestling here, I will say, well, I know we're like 17 minutes in, but I don't think he didn't really look too much like Kerry Von Erich, but I think they wanted a name in there and like to play him, so it makes sense from like a marketing standpoint for Iron Claw. I think it made sense. Same with Zac Efron in that role. And I think Zac Efron did a good job, playing the version, the Kevin Von Erich version, the movie Kevin Von Erich version. Even though, yes, didn't look like him. A lot of inaccuracies in the movie in general, too. I will say, so, not just from a storytelling standpoint, but from how it was all pivoted and portrayed. But a movie nonetheless. So. Still like the movie. But yeah, you can check out the review I did. Golly, I was going to touch upon something else. Can't remember what it was, though. Oh, but yes, I do think the Bret Hart movie would end at the Montreal Screwjob. I think that would be a good poetic way to do it. All right, so what I wanted to first touch upon was maybe something that hasn't got a lot of traction yet. And, I do think it encapsulates an ongoing problem with AEW and what has been a big issue with AEW. Deonna Purrazzo, who I like a lot, big time. I think she's awesome. And I was really excited to see what the future was going to be held for her. I mean, because she was such a prominent main stage name in TNA, and even, when I saw her a little bit in WWE, I think she was part of the Mae Young Classic, if I'm not mistaken. But, I thought there was so much great stuff and a great future ahead for her. So when she signed with AEW, I was like, that's a great move. I can't wait to see what they do with her. Well, what have they done with her? Unfortunately, not a whole lot. Back on February 10th, so 10 days ago, she made a post. I've only had one match in 2026. Let's change that as soon as possible. Who wants to be fluent in Purrazzo? And then she gave her booking information. And so now in a new interview with BCP Plus, the former TNA Knockouts champion detailed her frustration. Deonna Purrazzo mentioned that she constantly racking her brain to figure out what more she can do to get booked. Her efforts are not being reciprocated by management, however, is really defeating for her. So she said this: I think a lot of my self-worth comes from my work and my body of work and being able to participate actively. And I feel that I'm making a difference in women's wrestling. I think it's been really tough, really rough. I wouldn't even say just 2026. I would say it was a really rough year, 2025 into right now, that I've got to be really been able to do that at the level I've previously done at. And I don't know what else I can do to change that. Deonna Purrazzo became the inaugural women's pure champion by defeating Billy Starks at Final Battle event this past December. though, as mentioned in her tweet, she has only had one match in 2026 after her title victory, and the reigning champion is yet to be booked into title defense. Wow, so she's the women's pure champion, and she hasn't even been booked. Explaining why she's made the post for bookings going against AEW management, the virtuoso said she needs to stay ready for when an opportunity does come her way. Purrazzo explained that she's trying to control what she can, even if it hurts her relationship with her current employers. Okay, so she follows up here. So for me, it was saying, okay, if I'm not going to get these opportunities here, I need to stay ready. I need to stay crisp for when they do come. So I'm going to put out a tweet and I'm going to take independent booking. I'm going to try to stay ahead of that ring rust that I might get if this year continues on this path. And that way, I'm trying to control everything I can control. Like I said, it's really defeating. It's really upsetting. But at the end of the day, this is business, and I have to continue to run my own at whatever stakes that costs. Wow. So the SD Scoops also continues. Deonna Purrazzo is not the only female star facing this kind of treatment in AEW. Names such as Britt Baker and Camille. I completely forgot about Camille, having been missed from the company for a long time without any explanation. Most recently, Mercedes Martinez opened up about similar struggles during her time in the company. You can check out what she said. So they give a link there. All right. So a lot to cover here in this regard. Super frustrating. I could only imagine for wrestlers. And there's a lot of factors that come into play where I think Deonna Purrazzo is justified in doing what she does, like in regards to marketing herself. To stay relevant in wrestling, you have to be on television or stay active. She's not getting that from AEW. Okay. Say what you will. Say, don't know all the details or anything else, and I'm not going to pretend I do. But I will say, repetitions are so key and important. Like in today's world of wrestling, where like I was looking at Jerry Briscoe's wrestling dates way back in the day, and like if you go on Cage Match, he's got like 20 pages of matches, and I'm sure that doesn't even cover all of them. And I'm just looking and looking and looking and being like, holy crap, he wrestled all the time. And now, if you were to go on Deonna Purrazzo's Cage Match page, I'm sure it would be super sobering to see how much she has not wrestled and been a prominent figure on television. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I know, politics and two sides to every story, whatever you want to say, but it's got to be frustrating for a talent like Deonna Purrazzo to build up the resume that she did in TNA, create this virtuoso character that was really captivating and engaging and dominant, like on TNA programming. And then you go to AEW, which you would think would be brighter and bigger pastures because of the money and the platform that it's on at the time too, especially that you're going to get a bigger opportunity to really become a star. And she didn't get it. Taya Valkyrie did not get it, which boom, blows my mind as well. And like, then yes, you mentioned Britt Baker, the Camille, Thunder Rosa just came back, and I know she's dealt with injuries and a lot of other things as well, but that has to be frustrating as a wrestler. And AEW, really, like Robert and I were saying, like they have the opportunity to eat WWE's lunch. We talked about Dynamite last night and how, initially I liked the show, but Robert kind of convinced me otherwise that some other problems that are going into play. I do think overall, though, they still can be on the right track. But listen, I mean, if Tony Khan ever listens to anything like this, this advice, this constructive criticism, pay attention to your stars and delegate, and make sure the roster that you have is being harnessed in the right fashion. Because you have such a talented roster. You've made such great decisions when it comes to who you sign and who you bring in necessarily manners. The way to do it is put them on the right platform and make them feel strong. And keeping, like Wrestling Old Ed just said here, momentum is everything. And it is. If you put somebody on television, we as fans want to watch it and connect with that person or hate on that person vicariously, through that. So if you put them on television, you get them, we're excited for it. And then you have to run with it. And I know it's tough to do, and you got a lot of answers to make and a lot of, mouths to feed, and so to speak, whatever cliche you want to use. But you have to almost have a brain trust that kind of harnesses where you're putting all that attention on and making sure that you're cultivating that in the right manner, because she's not, I'm sure, the only disgruntled person in AEW. Not to say there's not disgruntled people in WWE or in any wrestling promotion, but this has been an ongoing issue with AEW, and I would like to see this get rectified. And like, now the iron is, it's time to strike. This might be really your only opportunity. If WWE is going the way that it does with this confusion of WrestleMania, where all this is coming out, obviously you don't have as big as a reach or net that WWE is casting right now from a global perspective and a household name perspective. But look, this is the time to seize this kind of opportunity and try to make something of it. Let's see. Tony Khan seems to be applying football rotations to wrestling, and it doesn't work the same. Maybe that's how he's kind of thinking about it. I think he's just kind of, it's hard when you're the one person doing it and you have a certain way you see and envision wrestling, and then I'm sure you get that tunnel vision aspect going on of like, boom, and then the blinders are on. And that's why it helps to have people around you to kind of be like, no, don't do this and maybe do this. That's why it was so frustrating when you had minds like Arn Anderson there. And I know probably Arn doesn't want to do a whole lot of that, agent backstage stuff, but you have minds like, and you still have minds from a Jerry Lynn to a D Malenko to you name it back there. Why not make the most of those talents back there? Derek Mitchell says Deonna Purrazzo is seen more in the SNHU commercial than AEW ROH. It's awful. She's a great performer and hasn't been relevant since debuting in AEW. Man, since January 23, 2024. So she's been there for 2 years nearly, and she has not gotten that opportunity. Frustrating. Oh, man. Devin Dowling says, not having live shows constant really hurts the wrestlers on these two bigger companies. Right. If you're not traveling and, I know that I don't know the term I'm looking for, but if you don't have the structure that you used to have, and it's a different kind of method of getting, you're focusing more on PLEs and big time events than you are live events themselves, you're kind of, it's brushing back against the wrestlers of getting those repetitions in, and then in turn callousing themselves and maybe preventing a little bit of injury aspect of it all too, but also like staying fresh and staying relevant. I did see that WWE did put Obafemi on a main event match and people were criticizing it. Well, somebody criticized it on there. Some user on X criticized it. And my goodness, Baron Corbin actually went and fired back at that person. This is about getting reps in front of a big audience. So shut the F up, he told that person. So, and like, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. So yeah, this is, like I just said, this is AEW's time to strike, time to make the most of the situation. And you have to do it like with your stars. There has to be concerted effort. Like Tony has to correct course on certain aspects of this stuff. And I hope he does. We'll wait and see, though. Hey, guess what? You won't have to wait and see is to get a rise in the bedroom. That's right, fellas. You already know what time it is. It's time to level up, and Blue Chew just dropped something crazy. I'm talking next level, championship belt, gold-plated energy. Blue Chew Gold is the newest innovation from the #1 chewable ED brand, and it ain't your grandpa's little blue pill. No. This is the 4-in-1 beast that's setting the gold standard for performance. We're talking 2 ingredients for blood flow to keep that rocket pumping, mixed with apomorphine and oxytocin to turn up the arousal and connection in your brain and body. Blue Chew Gold dissolves under your tongue and works in just as little as 15 minutes. That means you can get it on quicker and stay in the game longer. Elevation without hesitation. This is peak passion and peak performance in a single tablet. So guess what you got to do? We got a special deal for our listeners. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with code RUMOR. That's promo code RUMOR. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. Razor just jumped on my book bag that's down below me. Yeah, thank you, Blue Chew. Thank you, Blue Chew, indeed. Also, want to give a shout out to a returning sponsor in Mars Men. That's right, Mars Men. Look, I have been 40 for over 6 months now, and definitely feel a change happening. You know, I always take pride in feeling that I feel like I'm 28 years old, but from a realistic standpoint too, there's aspects where I am, okay, yeah, I'm not necessarily 28 in this regard. Low energy sometimes, you know, maybe feeling out of it, and want to kind of get yourself back in the game. So, you know, lots of low T happening with people my age and stuff kind of going on. Well, Mars Men might be a solution to help you get some benefits of maybe feeling a little bit more energetic and getting back into the game that you were in your 20s a little bit. So Mars Men is the product here. I got it right here, actually. Boom, check this out. Boom, got the box. Can I open it right now? Or is it too? Nope, duct taped up. But box right here. Mars Men. So yes, give it a try. You know, with a lot of this stuff too, there is that aspect of, you know, helps you get, maybe potentially could help you get some sleep, or potentially helps, you know, get those levels up to where you want to be. So for a limited time, our listeners get 50% off for life, plus for life, plus free shipping and 3 free gifts. mengotomars.com. It's a perfect way to kick off the new year strong. That's right. mengotomars.com for 50% off and 3 free gifts when you check out. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that they sent you. Yeah, go to mars.com and see if this fits for you. If this is something that's up your alley, and maybe give it a try. So there you go. Boom. All right. And then we got one more sponsor. We got Mando. Oh, man. You know what's great about spring and post-Valentine's Day? Maybe you found a special someone. Maybe, just maybe, there's some sparks flying. Huh? Maybe some sparks flying going on. And you want to smell good when you do all that. No better way to smell good and smell like an adult than Mando. Huge fan of Mando. Always have been since they gave us the first product. And I tell you what, there's some great scents that they got going on. They got Pro Sport. My favorite is the Mount Fuji, but there's also Bourbon Leather. I think Robert's a Bourbon Leather guy. But yes, you get a deodorant spray. You can get a deodorant, the classic deodorant stick, deodorant cream too. Lots of different options with Mando. One of my favorite products going on. And you can have that be one of your favorite products you have in your household. Some men mask their BO with scents. Mando Men gets the job done right. Don't mask it, Mando it. Available in retailers near you. Or head to shopmando.com, because for a limited time, new customers get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code. Use code RUMOR at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide plus free shipping. shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Mando's got you covered with deodorant plus sweat control. Say goodbye to sweat stains and hello to long-lasting freshness. Meow. All right. Let's take a look at some of your comments here. Caspian chiming in. Did you see the women's hockey team win gold yesterday? Great moment. Yeah, what a goal that was. I think Kenny Albert was on the call for that, and pretty historic moment. People are debating, is that like an all-time hockey goal? Because that sealed the deal. Overtime against Canada, women's hockey, and the United States gets the gold. So shout out to the women's hockey team, United US of A. Woo! Let's see. Derek Mitchell says, did you know the last time Deanna was on AEW? Can I interest you? Dynamite, February 26th, 2025 against Harley Cameron. Almost a year ago. That's crazy. I don't think she needs the reps. She needs TV time on Dynamite and Collision. Yeah, but I do think all wrestlers kind of need reps, you know, to stay fresh and in the ring. Because, I mean, like, that's just always part of it. Like, there's no other, you can't compare anything else to pro wrestling to get ready for pro wrestling. You're literally throwing your body against its will on the mat and like taking hits that your body organically is not used to doing instinctively. So that to an extent, everybody needs reps for sure. Obviously, she's a veteran; she knows what she's doing and everything like that. But I do think that she needs that. But she does need TV time. I highly agree with you on that aspect of it all too. Um, I think about now. This is quite a different stretch, but I think about Kurt Angle's last year's in WWE. He wanted to be an active wrestler and he wanted to continue wrestling because he felt that he still had it. However, he always cites that he was out of the ring for so long as the Raw GM that he could not get to the point he was, and he actually lost it while while maintaining that role. So to that point, even a legend, and I know Kurt is at a much different age than Deanna was at the time, uh, but everybody needs to kind of get into that mode where they can perform at that level. And unfortunately, frustratingly, sadly, WWE did not do that at the time and wasted Kurt Angle in so many ways. So frustrating. So frustrating. An all time great. You could argue he's the greatest of all time. You could make an argument for him, no doubt. Friend of the show, Kurt Angle, by the way. Dre Owen says Bourbon Leather Mando is fire. Yeah, do the Mando, Devin. Help us out. Oh man, that do need Mando. Get it. Get it. Ooh, what game was fire? What game am I missing? Oh, the hockey game. I was thinking video game. Hockey game. I haven't watched any of the Olympics really. I just saw that highlight on X. But yeah, I have not tuned into any of the Olympics. I saw the United States figure skater one too, or something, which was pretty cool. And then I've not tuned into the men's hockey either, which I'm a huge fan of Sidney Crosby. Maybe that's I kind of was turned off. Tell me if this was a real video or not. But did you guys see that they had a side-by-side video of hockey players, the United States team and then the Canadian team leaving the rink? And while fans were reaching out to smack the hands of the United States hockey team, they weren't reciprocating that. They were just walking by, completely ignored the fans. Then you look over at the Canadian hockey players, they're all slapping hands with the fans. I don't know if that was AI or if that was real, but it was upsetting. Like, I'm like, what the hell? Like, United States, my country, you're representing us like that? Come on. High five the fans. How much does it take to reach your hand up and hit the fans' hands? You know? And so, like, and plus I'm a Sidney Crosby fan and I love the Penguins. So I'm always kind of, I'm not that I'm rooting for Team Canada necessarily. I kind of am though. I don't know. Whatever happens, happens. And I know Crosby's hurt, so Crosby's not going to be playing for the rest of the game. So frustrating. Yeah. Oh, it's Canada and Finland right now. So there we go. Want to breeze. I'm making a funny comment. There you go. All right. Let's preview SmackDown. I haven't even looked. I didn't even put. When I don't have to do a rundown, I don't do a rundown. I do not do a rundown. Dang, I'm trying to. Let's pull it up here. So SmackDown preview. Courtesy of our friends at SEScoops.com. If you want quick, digestible, informative news, SE Scoops does a good job at curating that. It doesn't overwhelm you with a whole bunch of articles. And Mike at SE Scoops does a great job at curating of what gets posted on there. So go to that if you want some straightforward, good information. The layout to the website's awesome as well. So shout out to Mike, friend of the show. Let's see here. Men's Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Triple threat. Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams versus Damian Priest. Let's talk about it. Okay, so we already have Javon Evans qualifying for the Men's Elimination Chamber. Who makes a lot more sense in this one? From that perspective, I think Trick Williams makes the most sense to put in the role here. I just think Trick Williams is such a great act. I was thinking about this the other day. I would probably put him in my top 5 WWE guys right now. Trick Williams. Let's see if I can do it right now. CM Punk always kind of reigns up top for me. Then you got Drew McIntyre. Then you have Becky Lynch. So there's 3. That's tough. I'm liking where Finn Balor's going. Uh, Cody is usually up there, but I guess I won't put him here at this moment in time. So yeah, maybe Trick Williams might be at 5, or the bare minimum honorable mention in my 5. It's tough to kind of think about who. So Devin thinks Damian Priest. Maybe. I think there's value in having Trick Williams in there. I just do. Like, he's such a young star. You put him on there, and it's just a good way to promote him and make him feel like a bigger deal. Continue the momentum with Trick Williams. Man, Trick was great though. Just amazing on the mic. Huge fan of Trick Williams. Yeah, he's smooth, man. He's smooth. He's clever. He's funny. Like, certainly, definitely going to be a big star for WWE if handled in the right fashion. All right, so there you go. My prediction: Trick Williams. Hey, we also have another Elimination Chamber qualifying match: Charlotte Flair, Nia Jackson, Kiana James. Boy, who do you put? I guess Charlotte would go here in this one. But shout out to Nia Jax, because I always like what she does. Kiana James really impressed me during the Women's Royal Rumble match. I think she was low key great in it. Like, she did a lot of cool stuff in there. Lasted a long time. Really impressed me. So shout out to Kiana James. But I do think Charlotte Flair wins that one. Oh, we got a fun one with Obafemi and Kit Wilson. 2 guys also on track to be real hot acts and already on the rise. Obafemi obviously wins that. So be interesting to see what they do further with Drew, with Cody, where that all plays out. Jacob Fatu being in the mix too should be really interesting. So hopefully we'll get some good stuff going on there. Derek says he's not a fan of Trick and Mello. Not a fan of Trick and Mello first interaction on the main roster in a triple threat. I think that's fair, right? But I think you could tell a little bit of story. Maybe they'll set it up too. I'd imagine tonight they'll set something up. Maybe have a little backstage exchange, and you could kind of maybe build something to Trick and Mello actually. So Trick is going to the chamber, which would be the first time 2 Black Stars in the chamber at the same time. Is that true? I don't know if that's accurate or true or not. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I just don't know. I do remember Montez Ford being a standout in that role the one time. So we'll see how it goes. Hey, shout out to Eric Tate tuning in. Hi, bro. Hey, man. What's up? Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you're liking what you're seeing. We come here every Monday through Friday on a plethora of platforms. So, but StudioOneSports.com is the place to go to check it out. Willie Thornbrew says, Javon Evans is going to be fun in the chamber. I agree with that for sure. I think it'll be a moment for him to shine. That's why I don't think you necessarily need Carmelo, because Carmelo's so athletic too. And maybe if you want one another to complement each other, you can do that. But I do think getting Trick Williams in there adds some value to him as a heel. Or maybe getting him out of it. I mean, I would not want to see him try to interfere and do stuff, because it does take away from the chamber aspect of the chamber. So who knows? Eric Tate. Hey, see you later, Wanna Breeze. So long, everyone. Got a 12:45 pin and got to go now. I know we're running over time here. Eric Tate asked, do you think WrestleMania needs to go back to one night? I don't think so, necessarily. I think you have plenty. I think if you made this the only 2-night extravaganza for WWE, I think it's okay. I think there's certain kind of value in having 2 nights. And if you get I think it really depends on, are you getting an audience, a live audience tune in, coming to this? I know they're dealing with ticket sales right now, and they're super duper crazy expensive. Like, I mean, they don't give me a whole lot of incentive to buy that, to have that price point of, what is it? I think the lowest price is like $260 for a ticket. It's crazy. I'm not going to pay to go to a night of WrestleMania for that. Just not happening. Sorry. Like, you have to like give me, I mean, that's a lot of money. Even if you had a great card, I wouldn't be paying that type of money. Like, it's just crazy. So that's what I think, Eric. I think they're okay doing 2 nights as long as it makes dollars and cents. Not Not sure what's going on with Working Stiff. I'll text Robert and figure that out because I have not gotten audio from it yet. So we'll have to see how Working Stiff. I'm sure. I know Robert's crazy busy with the bat mitzvah and everything like that. So I prefer, Devin, studio1sports.com. Go to studio1sports.com. That's the best way to support what Robert and I are doing at the moment and everything, because that's the channel I'm really trying to cultivate. We go daily on there. So check it out and always like and turn those notifications on too. So studio1sports.com. Go there, hit subscribe. You got other content, more content coming from me too, and others. Just corresponding with Nocturnal Knockout, who Triple E is a big fan of. Robert is going to be hopefully returning here soon enough. So, see, Devin feels a different way. Who wants to go to a 4-match WrestleMania? I like AEW pay-per-views with 10+ matches. See, but that's, subjective. People feel different ways about all that. Like, I think 10 matches is way too many, and I get exhausted. 4 hours for a wrestling pay-per-view is way too long. I like mine more akin to WWE. 5 matches, 2.5 hours, 3 hours max. But 2.5 hours is like kind of the sweet spot for me. Like, get me in, get me out. Let me talk about it. Let me remember stuff. Oh, that's a good point. Cammy says, I like 2-night manias more for time for parties. Exactly. And that's what I'll credit SummerSlam for too. I actually went to SummerSlam the first night this past summer. I was at MetLife there, and I saw night 1. What a horrible experience it was trying to get back. I didn't get back. I was literally gone. I left the show early, as a matter of fact. I left as the CM Punk, the match I wanted to see, as CM Punk took on Gunther. I left the show early so I could maybe beat all that crazy traffic that was going on. I thought I was a genius doing that. Well, here, I was still too late because I could not get a lift back. I could not get anything back. And it took me forever to get home. I stayed at Crowbar, the wrestler Crowbar, WCW. I stayed at his place. And it took me forever to get back. And I paid $90 to get back, to go 2 miles. $90. I actually refuted with Lyft, and I got half of that back. That's another story. But to your point, Cammy, so I got to see night 1, and then I just hung out with Crowbar night 2. Night 2, me, Danny Doring, we all kind of partied down that night. It was fun. So to your point, yes, 2 nights is good. Thanks, Devin. Devin is on studio1sports.com right now. So do the same if you would like and help us out. Derek Mitchell says, watching AEW pay-per-views like going to church all day. WWE gets you in and gets you out. Yeah, and like that's something too. Like if you go to a certain type of church, you're used to having like these 2-hour long services. I'm Catholic, so we roughly ran about 45 minutes to an hour, because you did the whole procession that you're used to doing, standing, kneeling, peace be with you, communion, the responsorial psalm, all that kind of stuff goes down at a Catholic mass. And so, but like, so that's the length for Catholic masses. Other church services go longer. Maybe some go shorter too, at some point too. Willie Thornbrew enjoys 2 nights of SummerSlam. So there you go. All right. I think that would do it. Derek does add, yes, it's true. If Trick qualifies, he and Javon would be the first time 2 black stars in the same time. The primetime players were in the tag team chamber match. Interesting. Okay. So how about that? Did not know that. Fun fact for everybody. All right. This has been fun. Man, 50 minutes. You guys got a huge dose of Dom today. Jeez, oh man. Hey, geez, before you want to get more, this Saturday, IWC Reloaded 2.0. I will be on commentary, calling all the action with my degenerate cohort, Nick Lendl. I've got a bone to pick with Nick, by the way. The young snot-nosed brat, Austin Carnes, I'll be probably on the call with as well. And then, but you'll get all the education, all the entertainment, and all the value out of what I have to say behind the booth. IWCWrestling.com. Go to and hit subscribe to IWC Network. You get a 7-day free trial. You get to see me. My degenerate brother, Marcus, will be on the show. He looking to get that high stakes championship back. I know that's on his mind. So be on the lookout for that. Go to iwcwrestling.com this Saturday at Mark's Court Time in Elizabeth, PA, which is right outside of Pittsburgh. iwcwrestling.com. You can check me and Marcus out in that action when you go there and subscribe to the IWC network. I think you get a 7-day free trial, like I said, so give it a spin and enjoy it. And yes, so that is the Saturday. That is a good card going down right now. We got a 16-bit battle royal, which is like akin to the Royal Rumble. Somebody gets a reset button. You don't know what all the matches are. You know some of the competitors and some of the titles that are on the line. World champion Jamie Jamison will be in action, but against who? We're going to figure that out later then. There is a WWE legend set to join the action as well. So be on the lookout for that. That is Saturday. That's tomorrow, 7 p.m. IWCWrestling.com. As far as that goes, it's been a fun show. Covered a lot of good ground. Covered some ground I did not expect to cover. That's what happens when you go off the rails. So thank you all for tuning in, and we'll be back on Monday to talk a little bit more wrestling. Maybe who knows what else. But enjoy your weekend. It's really nice out here in Pittsburgh. Hopefully it's nice where all you guys are and gals are. But thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate everybody that does, from Cammy Starr to Jeff Henninger to Devin Dowling to Willie Thornbrew to Wrestling Old Head. Everybody really, really appreciate Triple E included as well. So thank you all. See you next time here on Rumor and Innuendo. Best of luck in your future endeavors. And hey, Pirates fan, let's go Bucks.